Hey guys, welcome to Easter Cookie Extravaganza Day here on Homestead Wish. Today we're making 3 different Easter cookies that I know your family's gonna love. We're starting off with an Easter cookie bar, a Peeps stuffed cookie, and my favorite, a Cadbury cream egg stuffed cookie. So don't go anywhere, the recipes are coming up. To begin this easy peasy recipe, what we're going to do is preheat our oven to 350, which I have already done. Let's see, what else does it say? Grease a 9x13 baking dish, which I have already done. And we're going to make our dough. And it starts with a box of just regular yellow cake mix. That's what I have here. Any brand will do. Pour it right into your bowl. We're going to put in 1 stick of melted butter. 2 large eggs, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm just going to mix this with my hand mixer until it's combined and a quick dough forms. It's really thick. Do not follow the directions on the back of the cake mix box. If you do, these won't come out right. So follow what I'm doing. I'll link the recipe in the description below for you. Next to our batter, we're going to add in our mix-ins. I have 1 cup of milk chocolate chips here. You can use any kind. And 3/4 of a cup of the spring-themed M&Ms. And we're just going to fold to combine it, get them all mixed in there. And it really does smell delicious, this dough already. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to call it there. We have our prepared baking dish, and we're just going to plop this right in and press it into the sides and bottom of our pan. Okay, this is evenly spread into the bottom of my 9x13, and I have some extra M&Ms left over, and I'm just going to sprinkle them on the top, just for pretty. Maybe another 1/4 of a cup, if that, not much. If you want, you could do like Easter sprinkles or something else like that on top of this. That would be cute. But I think the M&Ms have plenty of color. Okay, there we are. Okay, looks great. So into the 350-degree oven, this will go for, I think it said 20 to 25 minutes. So we'll see you when it's done. My cake mix cookie bars took 23 minutes in my oven at 350. Now they're done. I just took them out. They smell amazing. And I'm just going to let them cool for about 10 to 15 minutes on this wire rack in the pan, and then I'm going to lift the cookie bars out by the parchment paper and place them on the rack by themselves and let them cool completely, and then we can cut them into squares. Okay guys, while our Easter bars are cooling, I'm going to get started on our next recipe, and we're making chocolate chip Peep stuffed cookies. Get started. We have 2 sticks of softened butter, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And we're going to cream those together with our electric mixer. You can do it, of course, in a stand mixer if you choose, until it's not nice and light and fluffy. Okay, now we're going to add 2 eggs to our bowl, one at a time. Beating well after each addition. As well as 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I'm just going to stop for a minute, guys, and scrape down the sides of my bowl. Now we're going to mix in our dry ingredients. So we have, in this small bowl, we have 3 cups of all-purpose flour and a half a teaspoon each of baking soda and baking powder. Oh, before I forget. Also, this recipe calls for cornstarch. So 1 tablespoon of cornstarch is going in. And we're just going to mix it with our beater again until it's just combined. This dough seems like it's a little bit on the drier side, but I don't know. I followed the directions just like it says. I guess we'll see together if this comes out all right in the end. But now we're going to fold in 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Ooh. And let me give my hands a quick wash because I have cookie batter all over them. And then the recipe says to fold in half a cup of Easter sprinkles, which I don't even know if I have. Well, I think I'll have a half a cup. I'm not sure. We will see. I got to use different ones. Like this one's just a regular sprinkle. And I think I'll use these ones. They're like the real small circular ones. I don't think that's even going to be a half cup. This is a 1/4 cup measuring cup. So there's 1/4 cup. And then I guess we'll do bunny heads. That seems cute to me. All right, so I'm just going to add the rest of that. Yeah, okay, that's about a half a cup. We're just going to fold it in. Okay, so our cookie dough mixture is finally done. This has to be refrigerated for at least 30 minutes, and then we can take it out and stuff them with our peeps. All right, guys, my dough has been chilling probably about 3 hours now because I had to run out and do some errands, but we're going to get these cookies going. So the recipe does not say how much dough to actually use to form your cookies. I'm using my 2 tablespoon cookie scoop, and we're just going to see how that goes. Ooh, this dough is very, very, very hard. I'm actually going to let it sit out for about 15 minutes so that way it's easier for me to scoop. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. My dough has slightly risen in temperature a little bit, making it a little easier for me to work with. So I'm going to start out by doing 2 tablespoon scoops and see where that gets me. Because we have to figure out some way to get this peep in the middle of this dough. So I'm just flattening it out with my hands. We can flatten it out on the cookie sheet. This is a non-stick mat. so it should be fine. And we're going to stick one of our peeps in the middle and try to cover him up with this dough. And he's going to be squished in there. Sorry, Peep. Just poke his little head down in. And just try and get your cookie dough to form around the entire marshmallow Peep. If you do need to add a little bit more dough to cover the Peep up, you can go ahead and grab some out of your bowl here, which I think I'm going to need to, yep, just a little. I'm just going to grab some out. And I don't know if I said this already, but this recipe did not say how many cookies this will make. I'm assuming not a ton because we're using a lot of cookie dough in each one. But I only have, I think, 12 Peeps, 20 Peeps, no, 20. Each pack came with 10. So that's all the cookies we'll be able to make anyway. And I think it needs just a little bit more, actually. All right. She's covered up. So that's what it looks like. I'm just going to continue on doing this and we'll see how many this actually makes. All right, so far I have 5, excuse me. So far I have 5 cookies, but these cookies are humongous. So I'm going to just put my cookie sheet in the oven with the 5 cookies on it. So these are supposed to bake at 350 for 10 to 12 minutes until the edges are golden brown and the middle is slightly undercooked. All right, guys, our Peep stuffed Easter cookies are done. And it made 16 total. And these cookies are huge. They're like the size of my head. But they definitely came out good. I would make these again, but just make sure the problem that I had was that the chilled dough. So if I had to do this recipe over again, one thing I might change is instead of putting the dough in the refrigerator and then trying to stuff the Peep in the middle, I would make the dough, stuff the Peep in the middle, and then put the dough ball in the refrigerator for 30 minutes before I put them in the oven. This next recipe I can't wait to share with you. I think it'll be my favorite. It's Cadbury cream egg stuffed cookies. I'm going to go over the recipe ingredients with you guys and use my stand mixer for this one. So for our ingredients we have 1/2 cup or 1 stick of softened butter, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1 large egg. Our dry ingredients, we have 1 3/4 cups of flour, 3/4 teaspoon salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 3/4 of a cup of Cadbury mini eggs just chopped up, 3/4 of a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and I have a 12 count of the mini Cadbury cream eggs. To my stand mixer, I'm adding the 1 stick of butter, and I'm just going to cream that until it's light and fluffy. I'm just scraping the sides of my bowl down, and I'm going to add the sugar. So the light and the dark sugars going in. And then we're going to cream that together. I'm going to stop it here for just a minute And scrape down the sides of the bowl again. And let it go again for a few more minutes. Next, we're going to add in our egg and mix that up. Nope, I almost forgot our vanilla extract. We can't have that. So we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Okay, back to mixing. Okay, one more scrape of the bowl. And then we're going to add our dry ingredients. So this is the flour, salt, and baking soda. Oh, explosion, flour explosion. All right, we're done with the mixer for the time being, so I'm just going to get all of the dough off of the hook and get this out of here. Okay, now we're going to add in our chocolate chips and our crushed mini Cadbury eggs. And we're just going to fold them in. All right, now comes the fun part, guys. We're going to roll out our cookies. So again, I'm using the same cookie scoop I used for the last recipe. It's just a 2 tablespoon measure. We're going to flatten it out a little bit with our fingers. And we're going to add 1 of our mini Cadbury eggs into the center. And we're going to form the dough around our egg. And the recipe says you may need to add a little bit more cookie dough to form it around your egg, but that's fine if you do. Just add a little bit. Give it a nice roll between your hands and place it on your cookie sheet. This recipe says it will make 12 to 18 cookies, I think. Let me double check that. Sorry, 12 to 14 cookies with this recipe. But because I only have 12 Cadbury eggs, that's all we're going to make. So flatten it out. Add an egg. Cover the egg up with the dough. And roll it into a ball. Hopefully I can get all 12 cookies on this cookie sheet. We'll see. So leave it in the comments. What was your guys' favorite Easter candy when you were a kid? Like I said, mine were the Cadbury cream eggs, but the real big ones. Okay, I've used up all of my Cadbury cream eggs. I got the full dozen out of here. I still have this much batter left. I wish I had gotten extra cream eggs, but I do have to run out again, so maybe I'll get some at the store. But these go in a 350-degree oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm really excited with all that we were able to make today, guys. We got, I think it was 18 Peep stuffed cookies, 20 of the Cadbury cream egg stuffed cookies, and a whole 9x13 pan of the cookie bars. I'm actually going to warm up one of these Cadbury cookies so you guys can see how gooey it is in the middle. Okay, this is our Peep stuffed cookie, and it really fell apart on me, but if you, I'm going to bring you up closer. You can see inside is all that gooey marshmallow. So that I'm sure is delicious. And then our cream egg stuffed cookie. Let's cut this guy open and see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, I didn't warm this up. I only warmed it up for like 20 seconds. But you can see the Cadbury cream egg there at the bottom, and all of the fondant has melted into the cookie. So I'm sure that is delicious as well. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you've made any of these or are interested in making any, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.